What if I told you you're not the main character in your own life, that every move you make is being studied, copied, and someone's getting ready to replace you? In the film The Watchers, the fear isn't in the dark, it's in the reflection. It all begins with a mysterious scene. An unknown man stumbling through the forest like he's searching for something valuable, maybe a way out. He's trying to escape from a place ominously called Point of No Return 108. Whatever he did there is still a mystery, but one thing's clear, he's doomed. The sun dips low, birds shoot out of the trees, and the forest holds its breath. The guy tries to climb a tree because, horror movie logic, but the tree, like fate, snaps under him. Something or someone drags him into a hole, literally a black void between the roots, and just like that, we're left with no answer to the biggest question. What was that? Then we switch to Mina. Outwardly, she's just a girl working at a pet store. Inside, though, she's a volcano of hidden creative energy and a few strange hobbies. She's got this game. At night, she dresses up, becomes someone else, and hooks up with strangers under fake names, kind of a local Marla singer. New persona by night, parrots by day, all seasoned with a side of existential burnout. Her boss suddenly sends her on a trip to deliver a rare parrot to a zoo near Belfast. And this isn't just any parrot, it's a golden kana, and it talks. The moment Mina picks him up, he starts dropping one-liners like he knows exactly what mess they're about to get into. And oh yeah, it's gonna get messy, the scenery's stunning. But when she stops at a gas station to take it in, she gets a call from her sister Lucy, talking about their mother's memorial, the one Mina didn't attend, while the screen shows us how many people have vanished in these woods. The same ones that will surround Mina for a full 100 kilometers before she reaches her destination, somewhere. Around the halfway mark, deep in the wild beauty of nowhere, Mina's car decides to give up on life. Her phone glitches, the radio hisses like a storm witch, and right in the middle of the trees. Point of no return number 12. The parrot, Darwin, yes, he's got a name now, not just the feather box, is clearly unsettled, and he's not the only one. A sound, the ground trembles, a flock of birds explodes from the canopy. Deja vu? Or is the script starting to repeat itself? In panic, Mina finds someone. A woman who first runs from her, then finally beckons her into a shelter. She counts down from 5, and that's when things get truly strange. Inside the bunker, 3 people, Madeline, Sierra, and Daniel. Their eyes say, "Welcome to the trap." But their mouths talk about the Watchers. Apparently they come at night and watch you through mirrors, literally, not a metaphor. You stand. They're watching, you breathe. They're watching, you move. They're already taking notes. Naturally, Mina doesn't believe a word and tries to bail. And then the forest pulls a trick. A little girl appears, small, but with a voice full of blame, reminding Mina of something she did long ago. An illusion? A vision? A message from the Watchers? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, nothing here is random. It's all personal. Madeline explains that the numbered signs are the work of the professor, another prisoner of the forest. She figured out that these points form a circle, and as long as you stay inside it, you can come back. But step outside that boundary and it's a one-way ticket, no return, ever. Then another night falls. Daniel, who's fully embraced his role as the local survivalist, decides to put on a full-blown performance for the Watchers. He switches into TV host mode and with a serious face introduces their Mina. But Mina wasn't planning to join the circus, so she just crashes into the broadcast like a regular person zoning out in front of a screen after a brutal Friday. And guess what? The Watchers eat it up. Apparently it's been centuries since they've had a good binge watch. The next morning, everyone heads back into the forest to gather supplies. A cute little picnic in the Silent Hill wilderness. Kira tells Mina that the professor, the same guy who studied the forest and marked the no-return points, still hasn't come back, and Madeline quietly warns that looking at the Watchers is a direct route to a mental breakdown. No return trip included. Kira even shows Mina the burrow where the creatures supposedly crawl out from at night. She's been here for about 5 months, which is less like a forest retreat and more like a Stephen King-sponsored mental health resort. Then it's time for the local rulebook. Genre classics. Don't turn your back to mirrors. Don't open doors at night and stick close to the light or to people, though honestly, neither seems like a great option. Not like you've got the easier choice. Hit like and subscribe, way simpler than escaping a cursed forest. So make the right call and support the channel before the Watchers do it for you. That night, Mina, instead of sleeping, thinks, hey, maybe I'll try talking to these mirror-loving weirdos. She stands there waiting silence. But the moment she turns her head, boom, there's drumming on the glass. Turns out they really didn't like that. She broke their rules. And this isn't just a group of angry Karens. These things are terrifying. With the way they move, you'd think they escaped from a quiet place. Only without John Krasinski and way worse personalities. In the morning, Mina joins Daniel for another run. He's taken on the role of the hunter, though sometimes even he can't catch a bird for dinner. He's been in these woods for 8 months and 3 days, probably even had an anniversary. Just nobody showed up. As they're walking, Mina spots the same little girl again. But this time she decides to approach the cursed burrow. Too many questions hiding down there. Daniel helps her climb in and tells her the key is to stay close to the light. Like when you're looking for the bathroom in the middle of the night at your grandma's cabin, Mina, with just a lighter, finds some old belongings and is getting ready to climb back out when suddenly, a hand starts reaching out. From the dark, but not just any hand. It's black, charred, burning, like something straight out of the horror movie your parents wouldn't let you finish watching as a kid. She manages to get out, of course, but she has to lie. Says she found all that stuff near some random rock. But Madeline wasn't born yesterday. She clearly senses Mina saw more than she should have. Meanwhile, Daniel, feeling inspired by the spirit of progress, hooks up the camera Mina found to the TV and sets it up by the entrance for the whole night. Now they've got their own surveillance system. Practically civilized, after all. They need to figure out who keeps knocking. Maybe it's finally the delivery guy bringing Daniel that burger he ordered. And then, a knock at the door. Standing there is Kira's husband. She's already reaching for the handle, but Madeline reacts just in time and stops her. Tells her to ask a question only the real husband would know the answer to, and of course, nothing, so Kira tells him about the camera. If you're real, prove it, show yourself. The guy vanishes into the woods like someone yanked him off stage during rehearsal, and the watchers respond by smashing the camera. Like a teacher who just caught a phone on the desk. They even try to break the glass. Stop! Apparently they decided to give our crew one more chance tonight, and to avoid pushing their luck, Madeline returns everything they took back to the burrow. Meanwhile, Mina is hit by a wave of memories. How as a kid she distracted her mom while she was driving, and that led to a crash, guilt, fear, all of it bubbling back up, but she doesn't give in. She returns to the shelter, and while Kira is off in some kind of zen state staring into the void, Mina finds a makeshift map on the floor and starts adding her own notes. But then, plot twist, Kira goes missing. Mina finds her near the burrow, but it's like she's in another world. Getting through to her is almost impossible. Then screams echo from the woods, and they find Daniel, who's tied up Madeline. Now that's a twist. Kira panics and runs after him. But Mina makes her own call. She unties Madeline. They need to find cover. Fast. But Daniel's completely lost it. He locks himself inside with Kira and refuses to open. It's getting more dangerous outside. So Madeline makes a desperate decision. She hides with Mina inside a rotting tree. Not exactly a 5-star resort, but it's something. They go silent. The kind of silence where you can hear your heartbeat in your throat. And then it shows up. The creature, for meters tall, like something ripped straight out of a nightmare. It stops right next to the tree, stands still, and leaves. Maybe it didn't catch their scent, or maybe it just didn't expect anyone to be hiding in an old stump. But the calm doesn't last long. It realizes the victims are missing and lets out a scream, a real one. And within seconds, the forest explodes with movement. A whole swarm descends, and the hunt is on. Madeline immediately rushes back to the bunker, and Mina, finding her courage, decides it's time to come clean. She tells Daniel about her guilt. How as a child she distracted her mom while she was driving and it ended in tragedy. The confession seems to hit Daniel. He opens the door. Inside, Madeline lunges at him but stops herself. Everyone moves toward the mirror, and this is where things get really disturbing. Madeline finally reveals the truth. These creatures, the Watchers, they don't just scare you, they study you, and they copy you. Once she saw herself in the forest. Only it wasn't her, it was a distorted, worn-down version, because their goal isn't to attack, it's to infiltrate. They're learning how to be like us. We're their muses, their test models, and when they're ready, they'll just blend into the crowd, completely unnoticed. Terrifying, right? Even the X-Files would be jealous of a plot like this. But there's no time to reflect. A full-blown attack begins, and in the chaos, the group finds a loose tile under the carpet. Beneath it, a hatch, and under that, an entire underground complex, classic horror style. Dark, dusty, and way too quiet, but inside they find supplies, video logs, and proof of serious madness. Turns out a scientist had been living here, and every day he brought 13 homeless people to the forest, not to feed them, to leave them outside while he hid. The meal was for the Watchers. He kept records, and one day, a Watcher came to him in the form of a child. This one was different. Curious, the scientist managed to capture it, but then everything went sideways. After 6 months, broken and hopeless, he records a final message. If you're watching this, go to the river, follow the birds, find my office, burn it all. Then the professor goes upstairs and shoots the Watcher. Finally, a little dance. Break to sweet music. Daniel finally opens up. He tells them how his father made everyday hell, and how one day, he ran away. Kira offers something simple. If we make it out, come live with me. A small but warm moment in this forest hell. The next morning, the door is open, the bunker is trashed. There's no time for shock. They keep moving. They reach marker 135. They release the parrot. He's like a living compass, pointing the way. Ahead is the river, and victory feels closer than ever. But the creatures are already crawling from their dens. By the time they reach the water, hope is real, but Daniel spots an old friend. They realize too late he's missing from the group. Joy turns to terror. The friend is a watcher. Daniel doesn't stand a chance. He's killed instantly. Mina and Kira, shaking, unhook the boat and follow the birds. The creatures stay on the shore, not because they don't want to follow, but because they can't. They're trapped in the forest's boundary. At dawn, Mina and Kira wake to the sound of a bus. They've been rescued. They look fine, untouched, and here's where movie magic kicks in. Mina, who's apparently spent a month in the woods, looks like she just stepped out of a spa. So no one on the bus suspects a thing, and honestly, it's fine. Mina promises to enroll at the university, officially to upgrade her qualifications, but in truth, to dig up the truth and fulfill the request of that very professor. The university staffer believes her instantly, because really, who else could be the niece of a mad genius if not this breathless girl with fire in her eyes? She takes her to the office, which looks like it was sealed off the moment the professor disappeared. Dust, silence, and that eerie feeling like he's about to walk in with a cup of coffee. There, Mina finds blueprints of the bunker, piles of strange notes, and something far more serious. A history that sends chills down the spine. Once, the Watchers lived peacefully among humans. They didn't hide, they didn't scare anyone. Everything was harmonious until they arrived. The half-bloods, creatures that could take any form, beautiful, dangerous, alien. Humans cast them out, and what happened next? No one really knows. No one ever proved. They went extinct for good. But that's not all on the wall. A massive painting showing the Watchers in near-divine form, terrifyingly mesmerizing. And then the discovery that shatters what little calm remains. Mina sees photographs that leave her horrified. She rushes to a suburban house under cover of night. No lights inside. The street is empty, but Kira opens the door, and that's when Mina lays all her cards on the table. Madeline wasn't just a fellow survivor. She was the professor's wife, only she died 10 years ago from lung cancer, which means they let her, a monster, into the world, and then when a second Kira appears, everything clicks. The one she was talking to isn't human. When the real Kira walks in, the creature drops from the ceiling and knocks her out, then turns to Mina. It remembers everything, every pain, every exile. Its plan is simple. Revenge. It wants to destroy her and return to the human world wearing her face, blend in and start punishing people methodically, coldly. But Mina tries to offer another ending and tells it the truth, that she has the blood of both worlds. And that isn't weakness, it's strength, because only she knows what love is, what pain feels like, and how not to become a monster from it. The creature freezes, suddenly realizing it has a choice. It can choose not to take revenge, and in that moment, wings emerge from its back, real ones, dark, like a symbol of its dual nature. It doesn't attack, it just decides to fly away, maybe in search of something new or just to disappear, like it finally understood that it, too, has a chance. Mina wakes Kira, promises her that everything's going to be okay now, but we all know how that usually goes in the movies, right? Back in her hometown, in her gray little apartment, Mina takes her long-awaited shower for the first time in what feels like forever. And then she visits her sister, the one she hasn't spoken to since their mother's funeral. She tells her everything, and there they are. Two women who look alike, one with a scar, the other with wings in her soul. But Madeline, she never left. She's here, somewhere nearby, watching, observing, because maybe the most interesting part is only beginning, after all. The key is to never turn your back to the mirror and never turn off YouTube before hitting subscribe. Seriously, the goal of 200,000 subscribers isn't a joke anymore, it's a challenge, and you're the kind of person who loves a good challenge.